Yes, yes, yes. It is the Castworthy podcast, and we are back after a little hiatus, 2 weeks of vacation, some PTO action. It is the three amigos back in full effect. I am Big Steve, aka Last of a Dying Breed, on the X Machine, joined today by EJ. He's not even the Savage anymore. He's just EJ. Uh, Still got lip gloss on. You still got lip gloss. Wipe your lips after you kiss baby moms real quick.
Not baby moms. Gotta relax.
Well, not baby. You know what I'm saying. And MVP. VP's here with
Oh,
us. The doll fan. That's his name today. He calls himself the research
it's
king.
cute.
But
It's cute.
yeah, yeah. We're back. September
I
8th.
didn't know he could be so witty.
I'm sure he probably Googled it or asked ChatGPT.
No.
No way he came up with, or he saw it on Twitter. No way he came up with doll fan on his own.
Yeah, no rebuttal. I guess not.
All right. So we've been away. We've been away for a couple weeks. A lot has happened. What you guys been up to? VP, first let's start with you, man. You were the one that kind of kicked off the away message for us because you had some traveling to do, and your traveling is always fun to hear about. So
Man, yeah, we it was interesting. So we of course would take dropping TJ off to college, So
Mm.
we
Big
get up there.
big college.
Yeah. So, before we even go, like I was having some stomach issues, so I'm worried about the flight. And then like I don't know if like is something happening with my stomach or is it because I'm just so worried that it, like it's almost like having like false pain or false, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Nerves.
So we end up, getting through the flight. Okay. The flight was supposed to be 2 hours, 40 minutes. Pilot comes on right as we leave in Orlando and he's like, yeah, it looks like we're gonna have a 2:18 on the flight. I'm like, oh shit, they shaved off 20 minutes. That's what's up, you know. So we land in Chicago 20 minutes or 15 minutes early, and I guess no good deed goes unpunished because there's a plane still at our gate, so we got to sit on the runway until it leaves the gate so we can go
Ooh,
park.
I see where this is going. Did they at least run the
So
AC? Because I hate
yeah,
when that shit happens and they think it's cool to now save energy.
yeah. So they had the AC on or whatever. So we
Yeah.
sit on the tarmac for like maybe 10 minutes or so, and then we pull into the gate. Get
Not
off the
bad.
plane. Yeah. So so far so good, right? So now we get all our stuff. We head to the rental car joint. Now, mind you, I can't drive. My wife can't drive because she's blind. So we put the rental car in my name because TJ is a junior. So we figure if they check anything, they're gonna see the name gonna match up. It's gonna be all good. We can get out of there.
See,
So we rent the car,
the black nigga shit.
get
This shit
everything
don't.
loaded up. We get everything loaded up or whatever. We checking out, and we get to the little checkout gate for the rental car joint, and there's this old black lady doing the checkouts. And I guess she's on her, I ain't about to lose my job. So not only
See,
does she check the name, she lines up the driver's license number, and she's like, "Wait," she's like, "This doesn't match." I was like, "Oh, that's me or whatever." I was like, "I can't drive, I'm handicapped or whatever." She was like, "Well, you got to put him on the thing because he not on the rental agreement." I'm like, "Yeah, no problem,
mm,
Adam." Now I had already checked before we left,
the
because I
price
am
to add him.
not even not just the price, like the policy. I'm the
Oh, okay.
research guy, so I already know that you can't rent a car for any rental car agency unless you're 21 years or up, except for in the state of Michigan and the state of New York where you can be 18. So she's like, "You got to add him." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, go to Adam." So she says, "It's gonna be $15 a day or whatever." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, no problem. Just add him." So she goes to Adam and she sees the on his license it says under 21 or whatever, and she's like, "How old are you?" And he was like, "I'm 18." She's like, "He can't." She was like, "Y'all got to switch." I was like, "I can't walk." She don't give me no play. She just immediately hops on the walkie. Need supervisor to check out. So Buddy shows up. and they get us to pull out of the exit line or whatever. So we sitting to the side. I explain our situation. Yo, my wife's blind. I can't see. I mean, I can't walk. You know, we He was like, in a normal situation, I'm telling you to park the car and y'all got to figure something out. He was like, but I understand your circumstance, so let me see what I can do for you or whatever. So he goes in the office.
See what you can do, dog.
Because their policy is not, you can't do it.
Was he black?
Nah, he was a white guy.
So
he comes back. He's like, yo, we're calling the risk team. Then his manager comes out like, yo, we still checking, trying to get this done for you, blah, blah, blah. About 15 minutes go by. They come back. They say, yeah, we can't do it. So I'm like, shit, I don't know what we're going to do. So I go back inside. I asked the dude, I was like, yo, is this just y'all policy, the 21 thing? Even though I already know it's like across the board. He was like, well, it is for Enterprise, Alamo, and National, because they're all owned by Enterprise. So we all got the same policy. So you have to check the other. I was like, all right, bet. So we go back inside to the rental car joint or whatever. I go to Avis, and so I see the girl at Avis. You know, this time, we got a sister. So I say, hey, let me ask you a question. What's the age the youngest to rent a car? She's like 21. I said, you can't be 18 and just pay like an underage fee. She was like, you can't rent a car in the state of Illinois unless you're 21. She was like, that's not a rental car policy. That's the state law or whatever. I'm like, she was like, you can't even work at a rental car place unless you're 21 because you got to be able to move the cars around. And since you can't rent them, you can't drive them.
Shit done changed. I used to get rentals at 16. Now it wasn't my sister would get them for me, but
I mean, I got my first rental at 19, so you know. But it was a rental car joint that was on base. So I guess they figured we're gonna be renting to military folk, But anyway, so I was like, all right, give me a second. So I was like, I'm about to put a reservation in. She was like, I can do it for you at the counter. I was like, nah, I got to do it through my phone because I get a discount through my company. She said, what company? I said, USA. I'm a vet. She said, I can take care of all that for you or whatever. I'm like, all right, bet. So we started doing the rental. She in there doing her thing, click, 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 type. So she was like, all right, when you need it to? I say Sunday. She finished everything up. She said the price is gonna be $468. And I was like, oh, okay. Then it dawns on me, the rental I had just got out of was almost $700. So that's telling me she don't got me in the appropriate size car, right? So I said, wait, what size car you got me?
Are you driving a fucking plane?
What do you mean?
That's expensive.
Yeah, it was SUV.
That's crazy. 700?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Proceed.
So,
thanks, Biden.
So she said it's gonna be 468 or whatever. So I say, whoa, what size car you got me in? And then she said, well, she said, what size you need? And I was like, I prefer a minivan for the space. I was like, but I know those get too pricey. So probably a standard size SUV. And she was like, yeah, so I got you in a compact. And like I look at my
compact
wife,
what?
A compact car.
Am I speaking English? Like she said, I need an SUV or a minivan, and this bitch someone I got you in a compact. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah. I need a minivan or a standard.
Were you
SUV.
in your chair?
I'm in the wheelchair. And so she says, yeah, so I put you in a compact. And I look at my wife again, like, I think I'm about to have to go off here, And my wife looked back at me and she said, bet. And then she explained it to me. What happened
that was black talk.
She heard everything I said. I wasn't hearing.
Oh.
She got me in the SUV for the compact.
You've been in Florida. Yeah, you've been in Florida too long. You don't know the hookup when you
Shout out to her.
Right.
Shout out
so
to
I
her.
tried to make a little joke about it, and I was like, "Oh, I'm down here in my chair." I was like, "You up there? Be going over my head, And so we all kind of like laugh or whatever. And so then she was like, "It's just y'all two," and I was like, "Nah, we got my son over there. We dropping him off to college or whatever." So we started talking about that, and then she sees TJ with all the bags. She was like, "Nah, you probably gonna need a deluxe." Click, 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 click. She upgraded us to the deluxe SUV or whatever. So. We get out there, shit. Yeah. So we pack up the car or whatever. Now it's time to roll. So here go to the key point. Y'all probably like, well, how the fuck you got in the garage? We had to let my blind wife drive. So So I'm in the passenger seat doing my best navigation skill. Okay, turn a little bit more, straighten
Oh,
up, straighten
nah.
left, go right, straighten up. So we get the car lined up. Like
Yo.
at one point, she hit the gas. I was like, no gas. I was like, we all brakes. We all brakes in this parking garage. So,
But she not fully blind.
yeah,
Like
she can't.
she's just legally blind. She just
but
legally blind.
she can't drive.
Mhm.
She can't.
And Aaron has driven for a long time. For anybody
Right.
who might listen and think like she's been blind forever, and this nigga just was like, "Yo, let's try something new."
So we get up to the checkout joint, right? And so we checking out, and as we pulling out, I'm like, okay, straight. And I realized the window's still down. I'm like, yo, let the window up so the chick don't hear me like navigate. So a car pulls up behind us to check out, and so we turn. And while she was checking out the other car, I'm like, yo, put this shit in park, switch. And so they switched real quick, and then we got the fuck out of Dodge, yo. So I was like, yo,
I'll be on a high speed
in the
chase
car.
just to get out.
I was telling him in the car, I was like, yo, I was like, this must have been how Denzel felt when he did that Jamie Foxx joint when he was like, I'm leaving here with something. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Right. Shout out to the sister at Avis, yo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to her, yo, for real.
And safety don't
She was
matter.
like, yeah, compact car. This guy fucking being the Marine and shit. Like,
Yeah.
no, I need.
Bitch, I told you of a minivan. She about to raise you up. All right, that's 1,100 then.
Like, I heard you, sir.
Like, I said I need an SUV. She's like, yes, I got you in the compact. And I'm like, am I being punked? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I appreciate you. Hey, it's crazy you say that because like when I go to, I think my stomach is connected to my nerves 100%. Like anytime I fly, I get the shit. I gotta take a shit no matter what. I get to the airport, I'd be like, damn, please hit the nerves before I get onto the plane because them little ass airplane bathrooms just ain't gonna cut it. I go to the casino, same thing. Be nervous about losing money. Got shit. It's crazy. Well, so how was the drop off?
Drop off itself was fine. You know, we got them there, got everything done. The first 2 days we were just stuck in the hotel because they had like 2 mandatory things for incoming freshmen they had to do on that Thursday and that Friday. No parents, no family allowed. So we were just stuck in the hotel because that was like all day things. And then, you know, we just chilled, you know, went shopping, got him a bunch of stuff for his room or whatever.
He's in a dorm?
Yeah.
How many roommates?
Yeah, his roommate's on the bowling team, so he's at least rooming with somebody that he already
that's what's up.
Have a connection to. So yeah, the room is God
small.
damn, that room's small.
Yeah.
So
that's what they them freshman joints.
Yeah.
And you ain't even upgrade him. I seen the picture he took on the little bed and shit. You got him looking like he in Rikers. I seen TJ. Come on, dog. Did you buy him a mini fridge?
Nah, his roommate was bringing the fridge, so he did. They had him in because they got
microwave.
The roommate brought that too. They got like a team group chat, and so before he even went up there, his coach had already told him in the group chat that him and this kid is named Joey. He had already told them that he already talked to them to make sure that they're going to be rooming together. And then so Joey and TJ was texting on the side. Joey was like, "Yo, I'm bringing a fridge and a microwave, so don't worry about that."
Where's Joey from?
I don't know.
That was my next question.
Dog, you're supposed to know this. Is he
supposed to know
white,
everything
black,
about this guy?
Spanish?
He's white.
Okay, but you don't know where he's from.
No.
What's his parents' political choice? I bet you know that.
No. All I know is his name is Joey.
You should probably know this though.
And
well, that's good. Did you get TJ one of them? Do they still do the Do they still do the what are those called? The trunks? Remember EJ back
in trunks to lock your stuff up.
To lock your
no. He has a we got him like some of those like plastic like
bins
or whatever, because that's the only thing that can really fit under his bed. Because they got like they're in their room, the closet is shared. So like one side is TJ's, one side is Joey's. And then so the rest of the space is Yeah, the rest of the space is like under the bed, basically.
Y'all gotta do better, Appalachian State or whatever school this is, because that's unacceptable. I know he's not there.
Yeah, Appalachian. I'm about to say what? Like, oh,
Well, any phone calls from him like in the last
he been hitting us up, which has actually been surprising to me because TJ is like super, like, I ain't trying to talk to anybody or whatever.
Reserved.
But, yeah,
he's probably bored.
Yeah, well, he hit us up. He hit me up last week. I tell him I was already telling the wife, I'm like, I'm feeling like Steve Harvey's father right now or whatever, because he hit me up last week and was like, can I order a pizza? Because he has my credit card or whatever.
Oh,
and I'm like,
I see.
I'm like, all right. And
no, you can do what you want. This is your limit for the month. That's what you need to be setting up.
That's what I'm gonna have to do, to start set him a limit and tell him this is, But anyway, I was like, I remember I saw Steve Harvey was on a podcast I saw, and he was like, when he was in college, it got cold, so he called his dad and was like, I need money for a coat. And he said his father sent him a Hallmark card with $5 in it and wrote a note inside that said, "This shit gotta stop."
I'm put you on the game right now. Just go ahead and get the Amex joint, because if you get the Amex and you add a secondary card, you get the points from that card as well. But not just the points, you get the sign-on bonus points for having the second card. So boom, you give him the second card, and you could set the limit on it. So you set his limit at whatever you want for the month, 200, 300, whatever, and boom. And then now you're teaching them the budget too. Like, yo, you better keep track, because you should gonna get declined when you take Shorty to go get a milkshake or something, and you're gonna be embarrassed.
But
that's funny. That Hallmark card is funny.
Yeah, and then we were talking to him yesterday, and he was saying how this morning he's gonna go to one of his other teammates, this guy named Spencer, who's actually from Florida. He was gonna go and watch the Dolphins game in his room. And he was like, yeah, so he was like, so I'm gonna probably get up and go to Dunkin' Donuts before I go over there. I was like, Dunkin' Donuts? And then he was like, yeah, I gotta eat. And I'm like, why you don't just go to the cafeteria? And he was like, they're closed, it's the weekend. And I was like, nah, dog, the cafeteria is not closed. And he was like, it's
always open.
And I was like, it's open every day. Like, the students live on campus or whatever. I was like, the hours may be different. I was like, on the week, I was like, on the weekdays, it might be, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then on the weekends, it's probably just brunch and dinner. I was like, but it's definitely open. And then he was like, let me look. And he goes on the website and he was like, oh, my bad. And I'm like, yeah.
Cafeteria is free?
Nah, he has a meal plan.
Meal plan. Part of tuition.
Fuck do I know?
So we already paying for that shit. You ain't getting no Dunkin'.
That's right. You better go. Yeah, you better go there about 90% of the time. You need pizza. What you need pizza for?
The finesse. I got money on Joey being from New Jersey, just randomly.
I bet you from Arkansas. Where what's the first date that you guys have planned for him to come back? Thanksgiving?
We're thinking Thanksgiving, but I don't know yet.
Illinois weather gonna have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Dog, it ain't even that. It's gonna be just like, does TJ fly easily, or does he get nervous at all?
He's good with that.
Okay. Because winter flying is what's a bitch, because it should be shaky and windy and shit. Like, if you got nerves for that, that's not when you'll fly. But I'm interested just to see like how different he is when y'all see how different he is when he comes back, from being on that independent life for a little bit. I don't know if the first one is gonna do, but by the time he come back for like Christmas, and he gonna be a whole different individual, yo. A whole different individual.
Did he get a job?
Huh?
The kid Joey sent him with a coat already?
Oh, so he's right there. In-state tuition. That's why he was able to bring all that shit.
We told him that we're gonna have to look for a coat pretty soon or whatever. He was like, I don't need a coat, I got my hoodies. And I'm like,
all right, dog. All right.
I was like, let me explain something to you. I was like, you've never been cold the way that you're gonna experience cold this winter.
Dog.
He's like, I think I'll be okay. And I'm like, no, you're like,
no.
I usually try to let you be a little bit independent, but like I gotta save you from yourself here because no,
you will not be okay, and it's gonna be. It's that win too. That's what it is. You gotta make sure you get him the ski mask joint too, because his face gonna be chapped up, yo.
Yeah,
bone chilling, yo.
I was like, you've never been cold the way you're about to be cold. So,
and you gotta walk like the classes and shit. Ooh. Yeah, he gonna feel it. What about you, EJ? What you been up to the last 2 weeks? Anything fun?
Last couple of weeks, nah, man. Just with the kids and with, fam, just doing everything regular, pretty much. It's cooling out here.
Nice and eventful. Well, I haven't done much of anything either. A lot of chilling out, fantasy football shit. Had some drafts the first week that we missed, and then we had our draft last week. So that turned into to a whole day's ordeal type of joint. A couple people at the crib.
Yahoo's regular drafting system. Yahoo owes people money across the board. Ours is different because we plug it in and we do our, you do as a commission to draft for us. But
you're talking about the
drafts that were going on. Each one that I've been
drafting
had glitches to it. Trash, complete trash.
Yeah, I wonder if like they're trying to update features and stuff, and that's causing issues. Because that's what happened last year. They did the multiple schedules, and they were, maybe they don't have enough server space. But yeah, man, ESPN is trash. So I drafted one on ESPN. ESPN Fantasy is absolute dog shit. It told me that I had Tyreek Hill. And then like round 6, I went back and looked, and I had Bijan Robinson. I'm like, yo, how does this happen? So this shit was just, it was janky as shit. But yeah, man, dealing with just some other stuff around here. I fucked my shoulder up. I did VP. I didn't tell you. I started back to bowling.
Oh, okay.
And last Tuesday was the first night, and I went in cold, trying to establish average. I had no practice, nothing, right? So first game, smooth 190. Second game, quick reminder that I'm not that good, 144. And then third game, quick ball switch, and I threw a 206. So I averaged 180 the first week. We'll see what it looks like going forward. But yeah, man, I felt good. Getting back out there. My body didn't feel the greatest. There was like third frame, second game, I went to throw my first ball, and like I don't know what this muscle is right above your knee, that on your thigh, but I felt that shit tighten up like a cramp, and I was like, oh, I tore something. I'm not gonna be able to finish, but I just stretched it out. I was able to get through it, but yeah, man. So back to that, and let me get your opinion on this. So I was on LinkedIn. I got hit up by a recruiter, and they like, hey, we got this to offer, right? Things sounded amazing. We're like, all right, well, ain't no harm in testing the water. So she sends me the info about, who I'm gonna be chatting with for an interview, right? Me, go on the internet, search the information so I could prep. And when I searched the person's name, because I was looking for them on LinkedIn, I did a Google search. Their Instagram came up. Let me just take a little click and see. Well, they are part of the LGBTQ plus community. No problem for me.
It's not where I saw it.
So maybe I might have jazzed up my answers a little bit, put the little zzz on the end when I was chatting. You think is that out of bounds at all, or what? Is that insider trading?
No, absolutely.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do. You ain't cheating.
Yeah, I mean we live in a digital world now, right? So like, if you were single, right, and you met somebody online going to date, you probably would Google them before y'all went out. You know what I mean? So
True.
what's wrong with Googling the person, especially if they gave you
Well,
the full name?
he's saying he lied.
I
He
didn't.
embellished story.
Yeah,
How
who
did
He
I
doesn't?
kind of
lie?
tried to
How
Who
did I
doesn't?
lie?
he tried to he tried to make his orientation seem one thing that it is not, to favor
Nah.
himself in the interview.
And, hey,
I,
it is
I
what it is.
didn't.
Like, look, who doesn't lie on their resume, right? You only can type 60 words a minute. You can do 90. Like for me on my resume, I'm good with Microsoft Word and like PowerPoint. My shit says proficient in Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, including but not limited to all Microsoft suites and da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like,
And that is not true. That is the
exactly.
furthest from the truth.
But hey, it's true enough. I am familiar and comfortable with
I,
some Microsoft programs,
I
not all of them,
understand.
but they don't
I
got to know which ones.
understand. I understand job skills, but this man, this man tried to act as if he was a part of this community.
I
No,
was just met.
I
I
didn't
was just
take it that way.
I was just metrosexual. That's
That's
all.
what you missed, VP. That's
Oh,
what he was
okay. See,
trying
I
to
didn't
do.
take it. I thought he was
That's what,
saying like,
that's what he was trying to do. He was
my
trying to
bad.
act like he part of the community.
I thought he was saying like he jazzed up the resume to be
No,
like, trying to I do my management skills to make a more inclusive environment or something like that.
nah,
Well, that's a true. I make y'all. I'm inclusive to y'all on this podcast.
nah. My man was like, yeah. So
Yes, of course.
Oh my goodness. Yeah,
Let me
that
tell you
might be a
about my
little,
leadership styles.
that's nasty work.
yeah, that's
He
nasty.
gonna come in the first day, like, yeah, you know what I mean? They're like, what happened? Oh,
Nails
Yeah,
painted and shit.
that might be a
yeah.
little out of pocket.
Jazz hands.
He pulled a Rachel Dolezal.
Right. I did a
That's
pivot
crazy.
table.
This guy
You
is
would
wild.
never believe. You would never.
Oh my
This guy
goodness.
is wild.
But yeah,
VP over
so
here
Definitely didn't see
shooting,
that story going that
shooting
way.
you bail. VP over here shooting you bail. Like, yeah, we all lie on our skills.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought it was like a skill, like
you gotta adjust. I'm a
I do everything in
chameleon.
my power to make sure we have a more inclusive, well-rounded workforce, and I make sure I
Oh, I see what you're saying.
adhere to the needs of all employees, regardless of background. I thought it was like a joint like that.
Nope.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well,
No.
that's already there. That's not, I don't gotta lie about that. That's me. Uh, you know. But yeah, so uneventful 2 weeks. Other than that, other stuff going on. Some illness in the home and shit like that. But nothing too crazy. Balancing life as it comes. But football season is here.
Bike.
And there, huh?
I said it's bike.
It's bike is
Right.
nothing more important than NFL football season right now. With the exception of, real quick, rest in peace to Fat Man Scoop. I'm sure there's other people out there that may have passed away that are due, you know, whatever. But from our standpoint, like at least when I grew up, I was out in the parties and clubs all the time, and anybody that came up in our era knows Fat Man Scoop's tracks, like knows the impact that those things had, knows that the the party could be completely dead. Everybody's on the wall chilling, except for there's always that one chick that don't care what everybody else is doing. You walk in to every party and she's there. And in my city, her name was called the Human Vibrator. Her real name was Tiffany, but she was named as people knew her as the Human Vibrator. But she was always dancing. You walk into a party, everybody is up on the wall. She's gonna be the first one to dance and start getting it going, right? But anyway, Fat Man Scoop, you throw that on, you throw the party breaks, and it just happens. Like there was just so many of them, man, and it was kind of sad because one, he was in Connecticut, but two, the video came out, man, and just kind of, I try not to watch
Mhm.
those things, but something in me just says watch it, you know. And I watched it, and it was just, you know, it was sad, man. It was sad just to watch him collapse like that. And when you watch the video, you didn't think it was going to be the worst of the worst, and then it turned out to be the worst of the worst. You know, it looked like,
Yeah.
all right, he collapsed, maybe he got lightheaded or something. But you know, it turned out that they tried to do some do what needed to be done to get him going, CPR and stuff on site, and then he did not make it. So rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop.
Glad I didn't
You
watch that.
know, huh?
As I'm glad I didn't watch. I saw that video come across my
Yeah.
timeline on Twitter, and I didn't know what was happening, so I hadn't even heard he had passed. So I just, you know, kept scrolling. It didn't seem like it was going to be something I was interested in, and I don't really like watching those videos of, you know, people passing. So I'm glad I skipped past that.
Yeah, don't go back to it, man.
Yeah, that's the
Especially
thing.
because we're at an age and stuff now where like you just feel
It's too
like,
close.
yeah, you just feel like if death is coming, you're gonna feel it, right? And if it seems as though he was just out having a good night, partying, doing what he does, right? He was doing an appearance, and you know, sometimes your body just don't body, man. And so I don't know.
We're
They
from
didn't.
the
Go ahead.
generation. We're from that generation, you know, and I always say like we're old enough to have not seen all of those things, but we're old enough to be in the age to where we have access to everything. And it's like there's certain things, man. It's just we as a society are so desensitized to.
Mhm.
It's that piece of us is like, nah, man, I don't need to see everything. Like it's just I don't even think back in the day we would have shared stuff like that. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Yeah.
see it.
Well, the R. Kelly video got shared. I mean, I remember vividly, like, nah, that's not him. The braids, not he don't even got braids like that. That's remember people say, yeah. So
Yo, that was a big
uh,
debate. Like, yo, that ain't him. Nah, that
that
can't
ain't
be
R.
him. That was a
Kelly. Nah, that's
big
his
debate.
brother, yo. That's brother.
That was a
Nah,
big debate.
yeah. But um, aside from that, though, get checked out, man. Go to the doctor. Make sure you're getting your annual stuff. Obviously, they didn't tell us what the cause was. You know, and I don't always want to hear that, but you just gotta assume at times, like if when it comes on like that and people are out just doing their damn thing and they don't know, it's rare that there wasn't something that could have been caught. You know what I mean? Whether it's, you know, cholesterol, whether it's getting your valves checked, whatever, right? Just do what it needs to be done, man. Because a lot of us are just not doing that.
And the other thing too, you know, as an entertainer, for him, somebody who worked very hard, you know, a lot of those people don't sleep. They don't take care of
Mhm.
themselves. You know, the Red Bulls, the you got to rest too, man. People out here just chasing the bread, but I mean, like I tell people all the time, you can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried that. You know what I mean? You
Mhm.
can't take it all with you, brother. You know, leave something for the family, but chasing the money ain't everything, man. You gotta
Yeah,
get some rest, get some sleep, take care of yourself. You know, so
and
yeah.
and part of that, man, in that industry, it kind of it like you get in it feeling like you gotta just grind to make it, and then you make it, and you feel like you got to just keep grind to stay there. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's like when do you get to just, you know, just chill and make it? Like even, you know, somebody that we talk about a lot on the pod, like you think about a guy like LeBron, for example, where you grind to make the league. Now you grind to stay good. And now you see he's talking about all this business stuff he wants to do afterwards. And I'm pretty sure he's probably gonna be grind to do that. And so it's like, when do you ever get a break? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good point. Good
Yeah, a
point.
lot of these guys, like, I mean, yeah, exactly. You think of like the Tom Brady's who lost his family over that shit, and now he's kind of moved on, and without a break, is now going to take on broadcasting, which I'm interested in kind of seeing how that goes. But you don't have to always be accessible to the public. You know, got to take some time, and I think that's what people and not only that, but also when you're that guy, like Scoop was a guy that was always he was the bouncer, right? He was the party dude. So who knows what he was into all his life before, but we
Mhm.
also have to assume, based on what EJ says, like the lack of sleep, having to get that energy up. Is it the pre-workouts, right? He was dropping weight according to, what you seen pictures of him and stuff. Was he taking pre-workouts? That was, obviously going to the heart. Was he drinking energy drinks with all that extra caffeine and shit, right? Like, we just got to make sure that, they're selling us this stuff and saying, hey, it's going to work for you. It's going to do this for you. But if that we're right for it, that's like putting 5W30 in a car that requires 10W30. You know what I mean? Like, eventually the engine's going to seize up. So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
just get checked, man. That's what, I say that to say, and I'll be going Tuesday to see my doctor to get checked out. But rest in peace, Fat Man Scoop.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always. They came on
We
when
can't
Fat
hear
Man Scoop came on. How come you can't hear it, EJ? I'm very upset about that.
it. We couldn't hear it.
I'm very upset about that. Y'all just be breaking all my attempts to blow things up. Anyway, shout out to Fat Man Scoop. All right, so without further ado, it is football. It's the first Sunday of football season. Um, Before we get into today's games, I want to know how you guys felt about the way the NFL opened up this year. They gave us the Thursday night game with our Super Bowl champions that we'll go into that game a little bit. And then they gave us a Friday night game in Brazil, an international game. So how did you guys like that Friday game?
I was good with it. I didn't like the feel. I thought the feel was pretty trash. Um, but other than that, I thought it was cool. I think it's good that they try to grow the game, take it to other countries and things like that. So it makes sense. Um, I don't necessarily like games on Friday nights. I mean, I barely like them on Thursday night. So, but if it was like even though we know it's not going to be a one time thing, but like if it was like a one time thing, season opener kind of thing, like I'd be fine with it. But I thought it was a good game. Kind of came down to the wire. I'm pretty sure a lot of Packer fans are thinking if Jordan Love didn't get hurt, but it was. I thought it was a good game overall.
I thought Thursday and Friday, just the constant football, the Friday game wasn't too late. It's a Friday. So, I mean, you got the weekend to kind of chill. And I thought it was just good presentation. I thought just from a football standpoint, I was surprised at how smooth, things looked. Didn't seem like a lot of crazy penalties. Of course, the refs, gonna go on ref, but overall, I thought it was pretty seamless and painless football being played. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Now I know there's no talks of it like from the NFL or anything, but I was thinking to myself, like, what if they did away with Monday night football and found a way? I mean, obviously they're worried about high school and Friday night lights and stuff like that, right? All this time. But a Thursday, Friday, Sunday cadence to me seems better, definitely on safety, right? Because from Friday to the next Sunday, when your next game is, or the next Thursday, is almost, I think that's a little more time. I haven't actually counted, but thinking off the top of my head, than a Monday to the following Sunday. So you at least get an extra day, I want to say, out of that. Um, and I just like the way, I personally really liked the way it flowed. Thursday there was a game, right? You watched it, you went to work. It's the end of the week. It's Friday, you're gonna have people at happy hour and shit or whatever. I wasn't, but you stay out, you watch the game. And now you got Saturday. If you're a college fan, you watch college football, and then you wake up to a day like today where you get your Sunday games. And if you're not a college fan like myself, you get your day in between, get your life done, and boom, you know, I like ending the week with that football game. I think more than starting the week on Monday personally. Is my thought. I don't know how you guys feel about that. And if you think like the NFL would or could or should adopt, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I would prefer it that way, like the way you laid it out, the Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday. Um, But yeah, I don't think they ever would adopt that. I mean, because the way they're going, I mean, last season, I believe we had a game on every day of the week. Like I think we had games on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like that. It was insane.
Those were
So
holiday. Those were because of holiday.
yeah, but still, like at some point, I think that they have to. It seems like the NFL, they still put out a good product, so it's no worries here. But it almost feels like a movie studio that makes a sequel as a cash grab. Let's
Mm.
put a game on every
Oversaturated.
opportunity we get in
They're
order to
forcing it.
get more money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think the Monday thing is just, a callback to what used to be, they had to use Monday at that time, I guess, because that was the opportunity that they were presented for fighting for TV, right? But
Mhm.
TV isn't the way it is anymore, you know what I'm saying? So there aren't your big Friday sitcoms that you're competing with anymore. They used to have to
TGIF.
compete with TGIF, and that doesn't exist anymore. People don't watch syndicated, TV like they used to. So that Monday slot isn't as needed as it used to be, because Mondays, you got the game and it ain't really nothing else going on. So to Steve's point, that Thursday, Friday, Sunday kind of feels a lot better. Like even me being a Jets fan tomorrow, watching the game, I'm anticipating the game, but I'm not feeling it that it's on a Monday. Like
Right.
I don't have that excitement for Monday Night Football anymore, especially being a working adult. Like I don't have that excitement anymore. So
Right.
I'm with you.
And the reality too is most people, if you're doing it on a Friday night, most people are going to be off Saturday. So you got, on East Coast games, if you live on the East Coast, a Monday night game, you could be putting yourself in a position if you have to work early in the morning on Tuesday to have to make a decision. Do I finish this game? Do I even watch this game? Or do I wake up tomorrow tired? Right. Whereas on a Friday, you can prep for Saturday. I really like that Thursday, Friday, Sunday. I don't know that the league would be going in that direction. And I agree with you too, VP, that you can't throw or they can't get into that feeling again like last year where it's like every night, even if it's spread out, because you have to. And if they're even if that's their long term plan, right? Maybe they're looking long term. Do we find a way to put a game on every night? That's from a fan base standpoint. Now you're going to have people upset because they can't make time, or what teams do you put on what days, right? You're not going to put your prime time great games on a Tuesday or Wednesday, right? And now you're going to have teams that are not that great that are going to start saying, hey, we didn't have a fair advantage. We played on Tuesday and now you got us playing on the following Sunday. Um I don't know, man, but I liked it. Thursday night we had the Kansas City Chiefs open up against the Baltimore game, which was a hell of a fucking game. Any takeaways from what you guys saw in that game?
For me, it just confirmed something that I think most people already knew, is that Lamar Jackson sucks at quarterback. Like he can't throw the ball that great.
What?
Wow, I didn't expect that from you.
Well,
Not
let me not say sucks. That might be going too far. But like,
not you guys MVP from last year, the guy that you guys said should have gotten it over Dak, who's a quarterback,
I
or
don't think we
Tua
said
for that
that.
matter.
I don't remember us saying that. No,
Mm.
we
Y'all
said
that's
did.
he
what the
should have
quoter
got the
said. I don't know
money.
if we said that.
We said he should have got the money. We didn't say he should have been
Y'all
MVP.
did say that. That was 2 years ago. But go ahead, proceed.
But yeah, I mean, like missing. I mean, I get it that quarterbacks miss throws sometimes. You love that. Everybody like to have a mulligan on some throws, right? But
Mhm.
I mean, a high school quarterback could have made that throw to likely like that was insane.
Oh,
That,
Zay Flowers.
or
I
Zay,
thought you
I'm
said went on
sorry,
to Zay Flowers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
that
Wide
was
open.
insane. Yeah. So and the other thing that I thought, I don't know what the hell, if I don't know if it's Harbaugh's coaching it, or is he letting it
Mhm.
happen with
Mhm.
Lamar running. Like he can't take hits like that and go through and make the whole season.
Hmm.
He just can't. Like he
He
just
was
kept
he was
putting it.
getting
I don't know if
rocked.
it was just like football's back, I'm excited, but the amount of times he lowered his shoulder was insane.
He didn't slide once.
Yeah.
No, he was getting rocked. The other part of the coaching piece, even going back to that play, when the Chiefs, Andy Reid, man, Spagnola, you guys had him for a while, VP. This guy moved Chris Jones to the edge and had him rushing from the edge. And immediately at that point, I'm looking at the Ravens because now they're sending a running back to block this guy, not even chip him, but head on to block this guy. So that changed Lamar's clock, sped him up. And I'm like, why aren't you shifting the line? And I'm like, I don't know if that's Lamar, because Lamar complained about this after the game. He complained about it, saying he was mad that they had a running back going. But I'm like, bro, you the quarterback. You could change protection. So I don't understand how they run their offense. So that was one thing for me. And then the other thing, when you look at their offensive line, when they lost their guard, John Simpson, thankfully the Jets got him now. I immediately expected them to have issues because you can't work with an offense like this, and you got your three core guys in the middle, and they lost Morgan Moses to us as well. I'll take them. I just feel like, you are knocking on the gate. You got to do everything you can to bring back these guys who protect Lamar. And so I already thought immediately that this season they would have some trouble up front, especially going against a top 10 defense like Kansas City. So, Andy Reid, shout out to him and that staff. They know what they're doing,
Roger Goodell wants Patrick Mahomes to three-peat. Roger Goodell understands the money that's behind Patrick Mahomes. He understands the money that's available with ensuring that Taylor Swift is everywhere. He understands that Taylor Swift alone got the two Kelsey brothers $100 million deal for their podcast, right? Not saying that their podcast isn't good, but I'll tell you one thing. I've never heard it.
It's very good.
I haven't seen a lot of clips go viral from it for them to get $100 million deal, right? Not saying it's not a good podcast, right? Joe Rogan got $100 million, just to put it, lightly. Like that guy was the top podcast. He had the highest selling, highest grossing podcast for years, and then he started that $100 million move. So being associated with Taylor Swift has its bonuses, right, for these people. But watching the refs, watching the play calls or the missed calls and the bad calls, it's getting exhausting with the Chiefs, yo. It's getting exhausting. It's three seasons of this shit now.
That's exactly, that's exactly what I would say, Steve, is that because I'm an NBA fan, I mean, we're all NBA fans, I think we're a little bit used to like superstar calls. It shouldn't happen, but we get it, right? And if that was happening like in the NFL, it'd be like, oh, here we go, but it is what it is, right? It's part of the game. But with what happens with the Chiefs, it seems like it's overboard. Like it's superstar calls plus, and it's too much. And the thing I don't like about it is the way that we as fans are kind of gaslit, where we're watching TV and like, you got to be shitting me, you know what I mean? And then when this is brought up, through the media, when Goodell has like a press availability or whatever, whether it's at the Super Bowl or before the season starts or whatever, maybe he's getting interviewed on a news network or something, he pretends that we're not seeing what we're seeing. And that's what makes it even more infuriating, because it's like, we clearly can see this is a bullshit call or whatever, and he's making it seem like it's nothing to see here. We're imagining this shit,
It's not as bad. No, I want to say last year was the year where he said officiating was better, the best it had been, or something like that, is what he said, which was absolutely asinine to me, because it wasn't just the Chiefs last year. We saw so many missed calls in so many different games, but we're starting to see a lot of these top teams whether they're top on paper or they just happen to be top in standings, Eagles included, getting calls, 49ers getting calls. I mean, there were some calls that the Cowboys got, but not nearly as much as some of the other, and you know what I mean? And they're a top team, at least from they were from a standing standpoint, they are from, a grossing standpoint, right? The ratings are always going to be high in a Cowboys game. But you're not seeing like this, it is absolutely getting exhausting. It's almost worse than Tom Brady to me for this team.
Look at us when we played the Eagles last year. The Eagles didn't have a penalty the entire game. I'm watching Lane Johnson on the right side of the line almost false start every single
time.
play.
Every time.
They didn't get a single penalty that entire game. They got called for one flag, but on that play, we also got penalized on defense, and so it was offsetting. So they didn't no flags on the books the entire night. It's and especially in a game where the whole saying is, you could literally call holding on every call or on every play in the NFL. So it's like you can call holding on every play. You're telling me they didn't find one holding penalty the entire
with
game?
a running quarterback, nonetheless, right?
Exactly.
Like you have to see that with running quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I we can all be biased, but I mean, going back to when we played them, when the Jets played them last year, this dude Mahomes had a horrible game. He threw hella intos, and he throws one at a pivotal moment in the game where the Jets could take the ball back and then potentially win the game. He throws one, and the ref doesn't throw the flag until the ball is intercepted way after the play, way after any contact occurs. It's almost like somebody, dialed them up in the ear and said, throw the flag, So I hate that aspect of the game. And, we've tried to bail these refs out a long time, but to your point, it seems as though the Chiefs are the new Patriots.
And I've told you guys beyond that, right? Beyond the Chiefs and the Eagles and other teams that are getting the plays in general, sports betting. Sports betting is going to cause this to only get worse. And I don't know, I mean, short of going AI officiating, short of using cameras, short of putting someone from the league to look at every single penalty in real time, I don't know how you control this, because I can tell you, if I was a ref, if I was doing any type of officiating for any team with the way sports betting is accessible today, I'd be rich. Like I would be the guy that y'all would be like, yo, there's no way. Like the umpire that got fired in the MLB, like Angel, I forget his last name, but he got fired. Like, balls and strikes was crazy.
Yeah.
Sports betting is going to do this, man. It's gonna, and it's only going to get worse because it hasn't really expanded to all the states. Once it starts to expand to all the states where it's accessible, no matter where you travel, on multiple different apps, it's going to be crazy. But
yeah, I think the thing is, it's like, how far do you go, right? And what I mean by that is that there it's not impossible to know whether or not that was pass interference or whatever, right? They call pass interference. The refs get together, they talk about it. Sometimes they pick up the flag, sometimes they don't, right? But when they throw that flag and they all have a communication, so we all see them wearing the earpiece and the microphone and talking to each other from different sides of the field and things like that. So if the ref, who's the back judge, is saying, I got pass interference on Sauce, for example, and then maybe as soon as he says that, you have a guy upstairs who has access to the replay like immediately, and he's like, "Yo, I'm looking at the replay, and the offensive player initiated that contact. Sauce is trying to get him off of him. You know what I'm saying?" And then they say, "Okay, we've confirmed it. Nothing to see here. Keep it moving." But they would rather just say, "Well, I mean, you win some, you lose some." And
he made a judgment call.
Yeah, for a business that's a $10+ billion industry in and of itself, that also has industries tied to it that are worth billions of dollars, whether it's sports media, fantasy, sports radio, or I guess that's part of sports media, betting, and all these other things like that. you would think that they would want to put more stock into getting it right. And it seems like they're totally fine with you win some, you lose some.
Right.
which
Yeah,
which
that
only which only leans more to Steve's point that there's a bigger conspiracy going on here. Because what other reason would you have for not ensuring that your product is being delivered the best way, right? Like, we know this is a problem. We know that because, again, I've told you guys this, and for me, I think it's between baseball and football where I give football the edge, that I think being an official in football is a little bit more difficult, aside from the home umpire who's seeing, the fastballs coming straight, that I think is just a little underneath being an umpire, a line judge, when it's 21 guys on the field or 22 guys on the field, running around speed. Most of them are bigger than you. You can't see everything, every angle. I think it's a very difficult job, but already knowing that element happens, already knowing that there's a fandom to it, already knowing that there's potentially some corruption, exactly what VP is saying. You got somebody in the booth, just get it right. You know what I'm saying? Just get it right. Some things are tic tac, and here and there, but some things, when they're changing the course of the play, and the people can see it, and it's even been a couple of times on the broadcast on Friday where there was a call made. It was on a punt return, and I think it was the Eagles. I think it was the Eagles returning it, and I don't remember who was returning it. But basically, the return team is running side by side with the gunner, and he kind of catches up to him, and he kind of shoulders him out of the play, and they called block in the back, and it wasn't a clear block in the back,
All
and
right,
even the
EJ, let me hold you up. Got some breaking news here. There's a video that has surfaced from Ari Marov, who's a sports reporter, of Tyreek Hill being put in handcuffs on his way to the Dolphin Stadium on the side of the road.
oh shit.
I'm further reading. Drew Rosenhaus said he just left Tyreek, and Tyreek is getting ready to play. So it seems like whatever happened has been resolved. But I
Oh,
just
wow.
saw that, so I'm sorry to cut you off. I want
he's
everybody
probably
to get
speeding, cops pull him over, or just driving. He pull,
VP was like, "Yo, this is about to be a long day," but
it'll be a long
I had to
season,
cut you
dog.
off.
yeah, a long day. But on that punt return, it wasn't a block in the back, and it was so bad that the official that they have that's already plugged into the commentator, go to reflect on the call, he can't even defend it. He's literally like, I don't know. So to VP's point, at some point, when are you gonna get this right? And I don't know.
Yeah, I think it really also. I mean, it comes down to how do you ensure that there's not bias from someone that you're hiring into this position, right? You're in a position to become, no question, if you grew up liking sports, you grew up liking a team. So if you're going to be an umpire, you're not finding a guy that rode horses all his life that's like, oh, you're athletic, you should be in NFL, can we train you up? And maybe that's what they need to do. I think I said this last year. But yeah, man, it's out of control, and it's only not only that, but it's also has the ability to impact the fans and the bettors, right? It's not just
Yeah.
that it's a bad call, you fucked up my fantasy team now, but to VP's point, sports betting is $1 billion organization or industry right now, and you can make or break somebody's life because somebody made a bad call or missed a bad call, or whatever that looks like. Imagine if they don't get the Isaiah Likely call right. All the people that bet on the money line for Kansas City, or even the points for Kansas City, end up losing those bets. How much money is potentially lost? How many people's lives are altered in that way? Like, these are things that they have to get right to maintain the integrity, or they have to stop the sports betting. Like, you can't be this off and have sports betting, because you're impacting people, man. You're impacting America, and that's something for. I'm not even going to say who needs to get involved, but yeah, that. Friday's game, we got to see the Eagles go out and play Green Bay. It was the first game in Brazil, and the fans in the stands looked a lot different from the fans here. You know, I would be happy with a lot more Brazil games, if you get my drift. But I agree with you, VP. That field was absolute trash. Like, we saw people slipping and sliding. It looked like every time Jordan Love dropped back, he was gonna get hurt. So I knew it was coming, but I thought it was gonna be on a drop back, because the one where he slipped, very first one where he slipped throwing the ball, it looked like he hyperextended his knee on that one. And so that field, I'm surprised we didn't see a lot more individuals hurt. I feel like the league should have done a better job with that. I mean, when you're talking about, like, I know everyone complains about MetLife, but they use that every week, right? You have a sample size for that. This is a brand new soccer stadium that they've used. Maybe they practice on it a bit, whatever. But
That was my next thing. That was my next thing. You gotta go out there. Like, that shit made me wonder, were you guys out there all day? Because typically the night before and then game day, you're out there. I'm like,
Mhm.
what were y'all doing? You should have known. I'm gonna use 3-4 rubber cleats versus this. Or I'm like, what the fuck? What were y'all doing? That was my major question. What were y'all doing?
Yeah,
And
I didn't get that.
also factor into that, just to shoot, Brazil, or I guess Brazil and the NFL, the slightest bit of bail is that, the grass is going to be different there, just because, that you can't import plants, like, you know what I mean?
right.
And so but I have to assume, I mean, soccer is a huge sport there. So I assume that they have grass that is able to tolerate people cutting and all kind of stuff or whatever. And I don't believe it rained that night. So I don't,
Yeah, but it
it was
was
crazy.
cool. 60 something, like, because it is winter time there. It's their winter, so it was like 63 degrees. So I'm sure there was some dew or whatever on the grass, and we see soccer. It's made for them to slide. We see these guys slide halfway across the field. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, you just had they got to do better, I think, somehow, some way. Maybe, and like you said, they can't import, but maybe you got to get your best grounds crew. Maybe the best grounds crew works for the Ravens, or they work for the Browns. Hey, you guys are traveling for this international game, and your team is gonna have a bye this week or whatever, right?
Yeah.
um I don't know,
I thought it was
but
largely on the equipment team because I'm like, yo, you got to be out there. You got to know that you guys need bigger cleats, like bigger spikes or whatever it is. Like, I just, and coach was like, at the half, Sirianni was like, yeah, we'll go and adjust that. But it's like, were you motherfuckers outside doing walkthroughs? And that might be what it is, because back in the day, and I realized this the
Oh,
older
fuck.
I realized this the older I got. In high school, we used to do the full walkthroughs. You do a lot more extensive walkthroughs. In college, we didn't do very much on the field before the game. Most of your players that wanted to get used to it, they would stay out there. But I realized the older you get, probably the less you are on the field. But I put that on the coaching staff, man. Make sure you get that shit right. We're in a new country. We're in a new field. Get your guys some good walkthroughs out there.
Check out the video I just posted in the chat.
yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm wondering why.
Yeah, me too.
Like, that's not, you don't do that just on I mean, well, it's America, so it's a routine traffic stop, but if he's already freed, right? He's already out.
Hmm.
I would have to assume, and we know Tyreek. Like, Tyreek is he's a star, right? And he thinks he's a megastar, and he probably got crazy. You know who the fuck I am? I'm on my way to the game today. All right, dog.
Yeah,
Come on, lay on this concrete. Let me remind you that you still one of them. You
yeah.
know.
I have to assume he
Um.
probably was speeding on his way to the game.
Yeah, he's driving
Yeah,
what is that? A Ferrari
looks like a Ferrari or
or
a
a Lambo?
Lambo.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Um. So, aside from the field and everything in that Brazil game, we watched the Eagles game. We watched the Eagles and Green Bay. I only watched the first half. I fell asleep at halftime because I'm old and washed. So I missed the second half, but I saw the highlights. Do you think? How do you guys feel about those two teams? I thought I'll give you my take just from the first half, and you guys can tell me what it looked like otherwise. From the first half, it looked like Jalen Hurts looked very, very bad. It looks like him having to adjust to coming out from under the center. Pause. Uh, threw his game off significantly. Right, we saw the interception, we saw the fumble, we saw the bad handoffs to Saquon. But I think the talent level that Saquon has kind of negates some of that. Like if that was a normal running back, it would look different. But we did see Saquon looking like what people expected Saquon to be. But I saw a post that said Jalen Hurts is who people try to make it seem like Dak Prescott is. Um, and so that was my takeaway from that. They did not look that good. It looked like he was forcing it into Devontae Smith. So I don't know if AJ Brown is fully healthy. I know AJ Brown did eventually, score a touchdown and things like that, a long touchdown for that matter. But early on, it looked like he may not have been super confident in him because he didn't go to AJ Brown at all in the first. I mean, maybe once in the first half, and it ended up being a penalty. And I only know that because I'm one of my fantasy teams. But so I don't know. How did you guys feel about that? I thought that the Packers looked really good. I thought that the Packers bailed the Eagles out, and the refs bailed the Eagles out a couple times too on those two turnovers. They should have turned both of those into 7 points. And stupid penalties kind of messed that up. Otherwise, I think that's a Packers win if they play that the right way.
Jalen Hurts is the biggest problem for the Eagles right now, bar none. I mean, and Jalen Hurts in the play calling, because I don't understand how you have a lead at one point and then everything you're doing is working, and then you go to do some other shit. Saquon is on fire right now. Go back to Saquon. At some point, they abandoned Saquon. I don't get it. And then Jalen is holding the ball for 10 hours. I don't get it. If either run or just toss it. This dude was literally running to the sidelines trying to fight through being sacked to take a 6-yard loss. You can't do that you can't do that. We know you squat 600 pounds. We know you're athletic and you're young, but you can't do that. You can't take those type of sacks. Get rid of it. I think Jalen Hurts has got to tighten up. Got to tighten up.
For me, Steve, I actually had kind of the opposite of you, where you didn't watch the second half because you fell asleep. I listened to the first half, but didn't watch it because I was in the shitter, and then I watched the second half. So I don't know how Jalen Hurts looked in the beginning. I only could hear, but yeah, to me, when I started watching the Eagles O-line, you can definitely see that they miss Travis Kelce. And I mean, the dude's a Hall of Famer, right? So it's not like he was just going to be easily replaced. You know what I mean? But you can definitely feel his absence. I mean, the O-line should get better. First game of the year. You didn't play like some team that's a slouch. So, I think that
back right on 3rd and 4th down in the first move. They missed the tush push on 3rd and 4th down back to back.
So so we'll see what happens with them, but you can definitely see that the O-line is gonna need to tighten up. But Hurts, I mean, I would say he's like the reverse Lamar, right? Where he throws it a little bit better than Lamar, but it's not as great of a runner as Lamar. You know what I'm saying? And so he's always gonna struggle like that, I think, unless he focuses on. I've said this multiple times on the pod, in our chats, etc. And I think that more quarterbacks need to think this way, and it's something that Donovan McNabb says. He said, "I don't want to be a running quarterback. I want to be a quarterback who can run." And people like Hurts, Lamar, Kyler Murray, they prioritize running versus being a thrower of the ball, and that's how you end up missing Zay Flowers wide open in the end zone. You know what I mean? Because we see Aaron Rodgers make that throw all the time running, because Aaron Rodgers, old, 5 years ago, Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback who can run. You know,
I'm excited to see Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm excited. And I know EJ, you're gonna be like blah, 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 but and VP is gonna be like he's
No, I'm
old,
scared.
but I'm excited.
No,
I
but
feel like
I
we'll
want
get
to
to that.
go.
Go ahead, finish with
I want to go
finish
back to
Friday.
the Eagles O line piece, and Jason Kelsey. Like, and I was rooting for
I said
Mekhi
Friday. I
Becton.
think Jason Kelsey, right?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, I got you. I was rooting for Mekhi Becton being, a former Jet, and I was watching him pretty much the whole game, and he was phenomenal at right
He
guard.
looked good. He looked good.
But I automatically off top noticed how they have him triggering the snap now. So
Mhm.
he's actually become seemingly the quarterback of the O line, which is very interesting to me because he's telling the center when to snap. He's calling out. I saw him calling out protection, calling out combos, and then I saw that their left tackle. I don't know how long he gonna last this season because he was looking like dog shit out there by himself. But to VP's point, the line without Jason Kelsey is very different, which even more adds to my point of Jalen Hurts. You can't be back there trying to hold the ball for 10 hours. You
Right.
can't do that.
Right.
Like if it's not there, tuck it, run, or as a coordinator, they stop running the ball. Like they completely abandoned running the football the second half. I don't. It was. I don't know.
Even the tail end of the first half, they wanted to pass because they had Gainwell in, and everybody was like, "Yo, is Saquon okay?" Sure, he got up and he was a little ginger, but Saquon look. If you look at Saquon too long, something's gonna hurt on him. Like that, he's one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those guys, but he's also a guy who he goes down and it looks like it's going to be season ending and he comes back 5 weeks later. Like we've seen that, so if he's just limping, you got to take his word for it when he's like, "Yo, I'm good. I'm good." And it seemed like they didn't do that in the first half. And then here he comes in the second half and he's fucking Super Saiyan. So they just have to I get it's week 1, but Sirianni is not a good coach. And I don't know
It don't look like it.
I don't know
It
that
don't
he
look like
makes
it.
it through this season. Even if they're winning, because we already heard that he has problems with Jalen Hurts. We're seeing bad decisions being made. He didn't even look fully engaged on the sideline. Every time they panned him, he looked like, let me look at the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't
I
know. It's
said
it's
this
definitely trouble in paradise.
the last time that we talked Sirianni specifically on the pod. I said this. Sirianni is a head coach who doesn't call plays.
Right.
He also seems to suck at hiring, given what
Mhm.
happened last season with the coordinators. Right now, you're hearing him and the quarterback got beef. So I'm kind of in that, the dude from the movie Office Space, where I'm looking at him like, what is it that you do here? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So I don't understand how he's still there.
Well, he's
And ownership.
look at his last name.
They
Part of the mob.
right. And he got us there, and we trust him. He's a guy. Nah, man, you gotta look this team as it's constructed has a talented roster, especially on offense.
Yeah, they
Talented.
do. They do.
Talented
Extremely
roster.
talented.
On defense, I don't know if I would have gave Bryce
Defense,
Huff 20 million.
yeah, they look bad on defense. Or
Nakobe Dean is a beast, though.
I don't know if they're that bad. He is. I don't know if they're that bad on defense, or if Green Bay is that good. Like, is Jordan Love really that guy? Like, we'll see more of that. I mean, unfortunately, he's going to be out for a while, because he got hurt. I wish he didn't. But now that's also going to make for the holdouts, right? Because this guy just got his 200 million, and people are going to be like, well, what if he didn't? He would have been hurt first week. So we'll see what that looks like today with Jamar Chase, who said he himself said, "I'm game time decision." So if he wake up on the wrong side of the bed, he may or may not play. T. Higgins is out. If I'm Jamar Chase, I might not play today just so they can be like, so they could see. They probably lose today if he don't play. But they could see like, yo, you ain't got T. And if I'm not here, you ain't got nothing. Isoveus is your number one. I don't know,
I
dog.
might have to bench Joe Burrow.
Joey Beezies. All right. Well, so let's look at the day, right? Today we got a boatload of games going. and we still get a night game and we still get a Monday game, even though we had a Thursday and a Friday game. So our 1 p.m. games, Bills and Cardinals. And I don't think it's going to be in the same order as what you sent me, VP, because I'm looking at the betting site so I can get the spreads and the odds. They got the Bills at giving 6.5 to the Cardinals. What are you guys' thoughts?
Bills.
Yeah, the Bills should win. I mean, they should be as good as they have been previously advertised, right? But they lost some guys on defense. He's got a whole new receiving core we don't know anything about. But the Cardinals is the wild card. I don't really know much about that team other than Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. So I don't know. And it's at Orchard Park. I mean, I could see the Bills winning this. I think 6.5 is a trap. I could see them winning possibly by 4. But yeah, I'm gonna take Buffalo for the win.
Buffalo giving 6.5.
Yeah, I think that's a trap. I wouldn't bet that.
I think they win it outright.
So you guys would take Buffalo on the money.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys got Buffalo on the money line. Go ahead, BP.
I was just gonna say also, when you're looking at the games, it's going from left to right with all the ones, and then at the bottom's all the 4s.
Okay. If I had to bet this game, I mean, I would probably take Buffalo on the money line, but I'm gonna say if I'm betting it, I want the odds minus 105, and I'm taking the Cards getting 6.5. I think the Cards cover that. I think Marvin Harrison is going to make a world of difference for that team. Kyler Murray, I think, is going to be back. Hopefully, he put the Madden. Well, Madden just came out last week, so he's probably actually been practicing throughout the summer. So I think I'm going to go with the Cards with the points. 6.5 is my bet on this game.
I saw a video of Kyler Murray last week. I can't remember if it was him who put it out himself or somebody from his team. It's definitely somebody, either him or somebody close to him, because it's an actual video of him. And it was like Kyler Murray's workout during the off season. And like, it's just a bunch of clips. And some of it, you see him throwing passes. The other ones, you see him like hanging out at the pool with the homies, barbecuing and doing crazy shit or whatever. And I'm like, this don't seem like the kind of video you put out saying like, I was in the lab. You had a fucking barbecue or whatever. So I don't know if I said that to say, I don't know if he's put the Madden down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't know who this is, who's gonna be there.
Picked up Call of Duty or something.
Right.
Or college football. All right. Panthers and Saints. This is a Saints home game.
Saints.
And they're giving the Panthers 3.5.
Saints.
Who's the quarterback for New Orleans again?
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr, yeah.
Derek Carr still? Okay.
Derek Carr is the quarterback. I like what they did with bringing in A.T. Perry. I like that kid. They got rid of Michael Thomas, so no dead weight there.
Still got Alvin Kamara.
Kamara's still there. Williams is their backup. I forget his first name. Not Jonathan. The fuck is his name?
Javonte?
No. The one that came from he was on Detroit last year. Or I'm sorry.
Denver?
No, that's Javonte.
Okay.
Anyway, he was on Green Bay for all those years.
Did Carolina get any better though? Like
no.
Okay.
That's the problem, right? They're without their kid that they drafted. They drafted Brooks, but they're going to be probably starting Chuba Hubbard as their number one. DJ Moore is their number one wide receiver. Or I'm sorry, Deontay Johnson. DJ Moore is with the Bears. Deontay Johnson. I don't know, man. I don't see the Panthers. It's going to be interesting to see. I hope that kid got better.
It's a divisional game. I don't know.
Bryce Young. I hope Bryce Young got better. But I'm going Saints. I'm taking them with the points. 3.5.
Okay. I'll get on that one.
Points?
Why not?
Or money?
Points. Why not?
I like them on those points. All Colts Texans, another divisional game, and this one, this is in Indianapolis. Texans are a team. They're one of my bold predictions for this year, man. I have the Texans playing in the Super Bowl this year.
They're the
I have
favorites
them.
until they prove otherwise. I mean, not the favorites in this game, at least. I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to see, how everything translates from last year. Add Stephon Diggs in there. I want him to go off because he's on my fantasy team, but we don't know how that's really gonna look. D'Amico Ryans, did he really strike gold in putting this team together? Then you got Anthony Richardson on the other side. That's a wild card. So I don't know. I don't know. I tell you what,
I
the
agree
Colts
with
will make a big statement. Colts will make a big statement if they win today.
Yeah,
The
I agree with everything EJ said.
Colts are home underdogs. They're at home and they're getting 3. That's crazy.
I agree with everything EJ said. I think Richardson is definitely the underdog, given that it's week 1 and we don't really know what we're getting. I think you have to take Houston here just because they're coming in as the more known commodity. They got better in the offseason, and you just don't know what you're getting out of Anthony Richardson coming back from injury.
Yep.
I'm on the same page with you guys on that one. But I have the Texans. That's one of my bold predictions if we get to it. Playing in the Super Bowl this year, barring injury. Dolphins, Jags. Jags are going into Miami, and the Jags are getting 3.5 on the road.
This one's gonna be interesting.
Play up.
What do you say, EJ?
Go ahead, VP. No, I think that I would think that's how it should play out, but now I don't know with Tyreek. I don't know.
Well, Drew Rosenhaus said his agent Drew Rosenhaus said he's playing. So
no, I mean just mentally how he feels.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I mean that's a good point. Miami's actually light at wide receiver today. We had to elevate Robbie Chosen from the practice squad, dealing with some injuries there. Don't got Odell back at least for 4 weeks because he started the season on the pup. And then we don't know what's happening with Tyreek, given the news this morning. I think Miami should still win this game, and they really need to, because, and the reason I say that is that the NFL kind of screwed us on our home field advantage. We only have one Sunday 1:00 game in September.
Prescott just signed his extension, 4 years, $240 million.
Wow. Okay. All right.
The late Jerry Jones, huh?
Yeah, can't be mad. Hey.
Nah.
Better late than never.
Yeah.
But never late is better.
4 years.
260? 240.
240?
Yeah, I don't know the makeups, but it just came across my phone.
That's an average of 60. Wow.
I mean, they're gonna have to shake shit up to keep Micah. Micah probably get tagged.
Yeah. But I mean, when you think about it, man, me and my brother was having this conversation this week. We were talking about the Dolphins losing Christian Wilkins. And I was telling him, the best thing to do is if you have a player on a rookie contract and you think you're going to be keeping them, is to pay him early, because and the example I gave him is, I'm like, you look at the Dolphins just re-signed Jalen Waddle, right? And you take a guy like Xavier Worthy, let's say he's that dude, and in 3 years from now, KC's paying him what he's going to get paid in 3 years is going to make Waddle look like he's like a bottom tier receiver in terms of money, because just the way the contracts go. So it's better to pay him early, because now you've extended him 4 years, and this year is year 4 of his rookie contract. Next year is year 5 of the rookie contract. So it's 2 years from now before you even see any of that money that you just paid him coming onto the books. So
I agree with that in most cases. The only difference I would say where I don't agree with that would be Micah Parsons. There's no question that this guy is generational, probably the best pass rusher in the league today, right? So I think that's where it gets tricky. I don't think you ever save money on this guy, because I don't think there's between now and the time where he's actually eligible for an extension, I don't think anybody comes in the league that's better than him at that position that can play two different positions. And so I think, but I do agree with you with the wide receiver for sure, quarterbacks for sure, the talent that's good but not the greatest. A Waddle, great idea to do that with him. Even CD, if we had gotten it done last year, that would have been, great. Getting it done for Jamar Chase this year would be great for the Bengals because next year it's going to be, to your point, it's going to cost even more.
But right, but that's kind of my point though, right? With paying him early, because with when Dak was eligible to be paid, right? Dak was going to be getting paid like something like 42 million or something like that if they had extended him when they should have. At the time, the top of the market was Kyler Murray making 48. So if they had done that then, they would have got Dak cheaper before. And then same thing with CD. If they had extended CD last year, top of the market was Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams at just under 30. Right. And so now you wait to this year, this crazy ass JJ contract come out, and then now you got to compete with that, as well as CD knowing JJ just got this. Jamar Chase is waiting, and I'm also negotiating, which means I got to make sure my numbers right. When you could have taken care of this last year, which then by taking care of it last year opens you up to handle the Micah situation,
Right. Yeah.
And
the only
the
thing is
reasoning,
Dak would have never seen that 48 because this is his second contract. But I get what you're
right?
saying. I get what
The
you're saying.
reasoning for these teams not doing it sooner is baffling to me. The only time that I kind of really seen it make sense recently was Bryce Huff and the Jets, where one of the people that was saying if we're gonna do it, we should have did it last year. But I see why Douglas didn't, sign him, because he doesn't really have that much faith in him as a player. You talking about a guy that's on the field 30% of the game. Even on Friday, he barely, there was plays he barely was in as your quote unquote top rusher. But if you got a guy, right, that's been doing it for 3-4 years or 3 years consistently, like if you got a guy who's the top guy, you gotta, like to VB's point, you gotta lock him up that third year. Just pay him, get it out the way.
And I can give you two better examples of a time that you wait, right? Daniel Jones, you know what I mean? Hey, you've sucked, and then all of a sudden you won this playoff game. Did you catch lightning in the bottle, or have you turned the corner? We're gonna wait another year and see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Another one right here at home for me, Tua. Hey, you've had all these injuries, and then you had this really good year. Are you really nice, or did you catch lightning in the bottle? We're gonna wait another year and see. You know what I'm saying? But in cases like a guy like Waddle, CD, Chase, JJ, these guys like Micah, you can't wait. You got to get these guys paid early, so that way you can get them for as cheap as possible.
Agreed.
Yep. All right, where were we? Miami, Jacksonville. What's your picks?
I'm gonna go
Miami.
I got Miami also. Vikings, Giants.
Vikings.
Two shitty ass teams. It's like, do I cut off my left leg or my right leg?
I mean, the Giants at home, you gotta factor in there at home. That might make some kind of difference. Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback, so I mean, he is familiar with MetLife at least. Yep. I don't know.
Yeah,
Daniel Jones looked really shitty. Let's just say that.
And let's not forget, Flores is the DC over in Minnesota.
Ooh.
And he's going to be coming heavy blitz and things like, you know what I mean. So I got the Vikings here.
Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, I got Minnesota also. Justin Jefferson. Giants don't even have a running back that I know of. A Devin Singletary. Like, what are we doing here?
Injuries on the O-line that they just bought.
If I was a Giants fan, I probably wouldn't even watch football this year. Patriots Bengals. We just kind of talked about it. We don't know what that looks like for Jamar Chase playing.
Jacoby Brissett is a starter.
Brissett is starting for the Patriots,
Mhm.
but I can't tell you the number one wide receiver on the Patriots.
Right.
Neither can I.
I can't. Yeah. I mean, you got Jacoby Brissett starting, and they traded away Judon. So you would think just from the names that the Bengals about to go in there and feast. But T. Higgins is out. Like Steve said, Jamar Chase may wake up and say, "Do I want to pull a Chris Jones and miss the game? Make him
Right.
show me the money?" Or, so this is tough, man. This is tough. I rookie head coach on the Patriots first game. I'm gonna go Bengals here, but I don't feel comfortable in the pick.
Yeah, I'm about to go Bengals
This,
at home.
yeah, this game feels more of a coin flip to me than like solid.
I got the
Right.
Bengals. Like I said, I mean, Ramondre Stevenson is going to be who they're going to depend on to try and beat the Bengals
I don't know.
basically by himself. We don't know their other we don't know their wide receivers. Like, all right, we don't even need to spend time on that. Steelers Falcons. This is one that's interesting too, man, because Russell Wilson. They said that he was dealing with an injury, but he's going to start potentially. He's slotted to start. Falcons are getting Kirk Cousins coming off of a major injury in a new place with a lot of shiny toys to play with. Pause.
Mm-hmm.
And Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, who I think has an amazing year.
But I don't know if he's gonna play. I saw some injury concern with him.
Really,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that, but
yeah, I saw some injury concern with him.
Yeah,
okay.
This is another one that's tough for me. I like Atlanta in this game, but like you just mentioned, Steve, coming off the injuries for Cousins and all this and this stuff like that is just it's worrying to me. But
Kyle Pitts will play supposedly.
yeah, I'm gonna go Atlanta here, especially since we don't know what we're getting out of the quarterback position from Pittsburgh,
Steelers.
given that Russ is injured and Fields is the backup.
Mm-hmm. And Atlanta really went out and improved on their defense this offseason. So that was another
they
thing
did.
for me.
Yeah.
They made some really good moves. I agree with you guys. So
Hard
VP
to bet against Mike Tomlin though.
and that's what I was about to say. VP's got Atlanta. EJ, you got
I'm gonna take Atlanta.
They got Atlanta giving 3.5, and I think the Steelers can cover that 3.5. Their defense is just so gritty.
I got 4.5 on FanDuel.
Okay, that's even better. I think the Steelers can cover the 3.5, but I think the Falcons win outright. So I'm gonna take the Steelers with 3.5. Steelers with the spread for me because I want the odds. It's 30.5. Titans Bears. The Bears. Do we have to even talk about that game? I mean, we could. Tajay Spears is the starting running back for the Titans.
No, it should be Tony Pollard.
I'm sorry. You're right. Tony Pollard is a starting running back for the Titans. DeAndre Hopkins. They have said Will Levis has looked really, really good in camp, right? But they say that about a lot of quarterbacks.
Right.
If there's some reality to that, and they're going up against a rookie quarterback, is it possible? Can the Titans pull it out?
I think Chicago should win this game. But again, rookie first start, like I don't know if y'all watched all the Hard Knocks where Caleb says on camera when the coach asked him was he nervous, he was like, I don't get nervous. And then he was talking to one of the players in the last preseason game. He was like, yo, you looking good, man. He was like, but I got to call Cap when you say you don't get nervous. Week 1, your ass gonna be nervous as hell. You know. He was like, we'll see. So you could almost, we know in sports, like teams sometimes look at certain teams as being like, this gonna be our Super Bowl when we play the Chiefs, and then now you got this dude in Caleb who is coming in the league. I would argue maybe not to the same level, but somewhat being looked at in this way.
Hype.
And I'm comparing Caleb to like LeBron coming into the
Mhm.
league. There's a
Mhm.
lot of hype around this kid.
Yep.
And you're gonna have players on the other side saying, "Yo, I'm gonna take this dude down a peg or two to let him know what time it is." You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And so that's why I feel like I'm gonna go Chicago, but I'm very apprehensive about it.
I'm taking Tennessee with the points. I'm just taking them to cover the 3.5. Just as a willy-nilly bet. I think I've bet on Chicago and other bets, but based on everything VP just said, I've been feeling the same way. So
Yeah, it's a rookie quarterback. Who's the Bears running back? DeAndre Swift. Is he actually playing?
I'm not sure.
There was a question about
Keenan
him.
Allen's going into the game hurt too.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen. That Bears team is nice on paper.
Yeah.
But their defense still got to show up. Yeah, Adunza. I'm gonna go Titans too, man. I'm taking Tennessee, even though I think the Bears can win. I'm gonna take the Titans with the spread. 3.5 is a good bet. Broncos Seahawks.
Seahawks.
I'm
In Seattle.
Yeah, I'm with that.
You got Bo Nix as your starting quarterback.
Bo Nix rookie. Yeah.
I don't think who I've never thought was any good since Auburn. I've never thought Bo Nix was good.
The only thing about Bo Nix, I think that we got to keep in mind too, is he's older. So
he's 29. He might be older than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, so he's got a lot. He's got a lot of he's got a lot of experience for sure. But I got Seattle. I definitely got Seattle.
He's 24. Zach Wilson, yeah. And Zach Wilson 25. Okay. I thought he was older. Okay.
Raiders Chargers. This is a tough one too.
Yeah.
Who is starting for the Raiders? Aiden O'Connell. Oh, I'm going Chargers. It's Chargers for me. I don't care if the Chargers ain't got shit else. Aiden O'Connell is not doing it for me. Sorry, they ain't even got a running back.
Jim Harbaugh's first game.
Xavier White
or John Harbaugh rather. Which one? Jim Harbaugh. I'm sorry.
Jim Harbaugh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Chargers, man. I don't know what y'all got. I'm taking Chargers on the money line because I don't know about it's 3-point spread, but I'm still taking Chargers money line. What y'all got?
I'm gonna go Chargers as well.
Sure, Chargers.
I mean, you could go with the black coach if you want.
Aiden O'Connell is the
that's the yeah.
Who's Gardner Minshew playing for?
Oh, you're right. Gardner Minshew is actually starting for the Raiders. Ooh. It isn't Aiden O'Connell.
It is Minshew.
I'm still going with the Chargers, but that's interesting for me for some prop bets.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers, but I'm gonna go over the 41.5 points total.
Yeah, that's a low total. That's a low total.
Nah, I think the total's right where it needs to be. Harbaugh is a running coach. He's gonna run. They're not gonna be throwing 70-yard passes anymore. Herbert's specialty. They're gonna be running the ball.
I think he's always been a running coach because of his quarterbacks that he's had. When you think about it,
they also don't have running backs though. That's the thing. Who's the Chargers running back? Starting running back?
I don't know, but one thing he did right away was beef up the O-line.
Yeah, I don't know who's starting there. I don't know who's starting either. Oh, no, that's the Rams. Kyron Williams.
Harbaugh, you got to think, last year he had McCarthy, and not last year. I'm bugging. He in Michigan, he didn't have the best.
Yeah, last year, Michigan.
Okay, last year, right. Even though he wasn't doing head coaching duties, but he hasn't, like, McCarthy was looking good, they said, this year until he got hurt, but he hasn't really had a quarterback since maybe I want to say Stanford. Was he at Stanford? I can't remember where he was.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, I mean, in Kaepernick, that was another guy who, ran and, threw. So I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll be a over 41.5 points, though. I'm gonna go with that for sure. 'Cause that's not a high total. Same with and I'm jumping the gun. Dallas and Cleveland. Their point total is 41.5.
Yeah, so Dallas Cleveland is the next one on the docket. 41.5 is the
Point total.
total. Is Deshaun Watson back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, I'm taking the Cowboys. I think Cowboys, however you slice it in this
I got
game.
the boys as well.
I would say this is a tough one because defense is king here for both teams. At
The
home,
Browns
that
starting
just got
left tackle
paid.
is out.
Okay, I'll go with Dallas. Micah should have a game.
Micah, I got Micah. I took his over prop on the sack. I think it was a 0.5. Yeah, I took that on Underdog Fantasy.
Yeah, I would definitely go over on that.
Who's the Browns' number one wide? Oh, Amari
Cooper.
Amari Cooper. The only thing is the Cowboys don't have a running back. That's the only concern that I have.
Zeke.
Exactly. I mean, if he didn't go over to the Patriots and forget how to run, then maybe, but we'll see. We'll see because maybe, I mean, we haven't seen any videos of him. So
discussion.
we don't know what it's going to look like for him, but we'll see. Commanders and the Buccaneers. This is in Tampa Bay.
Tampa should win.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tampa as well.
Oh man, they got the Commanders getting 4. Jaden Daniels. Hearing great things about that kid. I mean, it's a tough one, man. I'm gonna go Tampa.
I watched the Commander starters get cooked by the Jets' second team. So I don't think defensively they're going to be any good at all.
Okay. Rams Lions. This is not as cut and dry as it sounds.
I don't think so.
Tough one.
They got the Lions.
No Aaron Donald though.
Yeah, no Aaron Donald.
No Aaron Donald. But you got a healthy Matt. You got a healthy Matt Stafford. The Lions are laying 4.5. So the Rams get 4.5 on the road. So they're basically saying it's 1.5 point spread because you get 3 automatically for being a home team in most cases. So they're calling it pretty damn close.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go Lions here.
Detroit for VP. EJ. I'm going Rams. I'm taking the Rams in this game.
I saw Dan Campbell in the Applebee's commercial, so I think they got that fire ready.
Yeah, he gonna get fired. He keep fucking doing stupid shit on. He just dumb.
I don't know, man, because that is the thing that stands out with Dan Campbell.
Yeah, decision making is terrible.
I'm gonna go with the Lions, but I'm gonna go over 52.5, 53 points in this game.
So let's see. They're saying 4.5, 52.5. So they're saying it's gonna be 28-24. 28-24 would be 52. So that half a point goes one way or the other. I could see that. I mean, it's going to be a shootout for the Rams. I could see it. I could see the over on this one.
I'll take over 52. I'll take over 52.5 on it.
All right. And then tomorrow night, we get the Jets going into San Fran. We get Aaron Rodgers makes his return after literally a full season off, minus about 47 seconds. Brock Purdy, now that there's a full season of game tape on this kid. Brandon Ayuk has gotten paid. Christian McCaffrey coming off of a season where he's touched the ball a million times.
But he's a little banged up, and Trent Williams is back.
Trent Williams back. Jets got Breece Hall, who looks he's going to be fully coming off of no injuries or full season, healthy. I don't know, man. This could be a good game, but that Niners defense is just so stout, man. What do you guys think?
VP, go
This
ahead.
one's tough for me. This one's tough for me. It's not. I already know where I want to go, which is with the Niners. But I have a pretty good streak on this podcast of picking the Jets and the Jets lose. So that's why I'm kind of waffling a little bit here.
So pick them so they can lose. I get it.
So, but I'm gonna pick the 49ers outright, but I think it's a close game.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Everything hangs in the balance on Aaron Rodgers, right? And we got a new offensive line, revamped offensive line. Mike Williams is gonna play. Breece Hall.
Is Mike Williams is number 2 over there behind Garrett?
Yeah, he's number 2 to Garrett Wilson.
Okay.
The one thing that I've been hearing,
Conklin's your tight end.
Conklin's fine. Yep. The one thing I've been hearing a lot about is the 49ers offense outside of 49ers offensive line. I'm sorry, outside of Trent Williams. They're saying it's pretty bad. I don't know how true that is. And when Trent Williams was holding out, I was like, great, because he don't play. Yeah, Brock Purdy's gonna have a fucking time. But he's coming in. He's 35. No training camp, no OTAs. I mean, I know he's a professional, but I don't know how ready he might be. So I'm interested to see that be a factor. And again, Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, 41. I don't know. I'm nervous, but I'm gonna go with my team. Just for fandom, I don't have any logic.
I'd be more concerned with Trent like missing camp and stuff. Like if he was like a younger guy, but I mean, this dude was a vet. It's not like he was probably at home barbecuing. He probably was in, working with, whatever, those organizations that do combine prep and shit like, So I'm
I get it. I get it. The only thing I say is, being 35, you didn't have, any real because again, to that point, BP with the Jets, we managed Tyron Smith to the point where he wasn't really getting any preseason action, but he got a lot of action in practice when they were doing the live scrimmages.
He'll be done by week 3. Tyron Smith will be done.
Yeah, I don't know though, man.
Take it from a professional Tyron Smith.
I get it,
especially if he's playing on that field. Woo.
Yeah, but that's how the Dolphins do Teron Armstead. They manage his whole offseason where he don't do a lot of work in camp or in preseason or whatever. And I mean, shit, last year for us, he didn't even practice. He just did walkthroughs on Friday. But in the game, like when Teron Armstead is on the field, he's one of the best left tackles in the game. The problem is he's not on the field a lot because he's always fucking hurt. You know what I mean? But even with a guy who doesn't practice during the season, he's pretty fucking effective game day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I would have to imagine that Trent Williams is the same thing where he's that dude already. So it's not like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know how much, not being at camp or practice is gonna slow him down.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think it's just the fact he wasn't in the building at all.
Yeah. When you're that good at that position, it's not gonna trust me. We've seen it over and over with offensive linemen being hurt throughout camp and stuff like that. I mean, left tackle is a position. I was gonna say same thing about Tyron Smith. Like, even if you guys never played this, and we've seen him come in week 9 for the Cowboys and still look like the best left tackle in the league after being hurt for 8 weeks straight. You know what I mean? So when they're that good, and Trent Williams, I think, is just as good, or if not better,
he's known as the number 1 guy.
Yeah, than Tyron right now. So I don't think you guys have an issue there, or they have an issue there. I also don't think you guys have an issue as long as Tyron is healthy, which is a benefit for Aaron Rodgers. significant. And not only that, I think it helps Brees Hall's run game a lot. So maybe not between the tackles because you guys lost Becton, but them outside runs for him because he's got the speed to get out there are going to be a lot better, I think.
We got Morgan Moses. We got, because Becton was playing tackle for us, but we got Morgan Moses, who's
you guys had him at right tackle?
Morgan Moses, yeah. But
No,
we
no,
had Becton. Becton was, when he was playing for us, it was left or right, but he didn't play guard at all. And then we got John Simpson from the Ravens, and Tucker's back. Hopefully he can stay healthy. I mean, damn. So I don't know. I'm gonna take my Jets for fandom purposes.
All right, I got the Jets. I'm taking the Jets. With the money, with the 4. Jets are getting 4 in this game. I'm taking the Jets with the 4.
I ain't betting on them. I tell you that.
10 minutes left. VP, what is your bold prediction for the season?
It
doesn't have to be about your team. It could be in general.
I mean, I like the Houston pick. I think, I don't know. I think people are giving them too much. But I said this in the chat, or I might have said it at the draft. I think I said, I don't think the Eagles make the playoffs this year.
That's a bold one.
I would have to agree with that one. Bold pick. Man. I'm gonna say the Bills don't make the playoffs. I'm just throwing one out there. I'm gonna say the Bills don't make the playoffs.
From your lips to God's ears.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking the way the AFC could shake out. If the Jets can be good, right, and stay healthy, this team is good. Dolphins are going to be good. So you got teams like Jacksonville, Houston, that all might make a difference and make some noise. So, Buffalo, the defense is taking a hit. No Stephon Diggs. We don't know how Josh Allen's going to look. I don't know. I'm gonna say their run is over.
Yeah, and Milano's out too. I think he get hurt in camp or something. He's out for the year.
Done for the season.
Season ending. Yep. I got Houston playing in the Super Bowl, and I don't think it's because of Stephon Diggs. I think it's more because of Joe Mixon. I think the fact that Joe Mixon's going to go in there, you'll have a little bit of a change of pace with Dameon Pierce, is going to allow for them to not have to pass as much, but you're going to have a healthy Nico Collins. You're going to have a healthy Tank Dell. You're going to have a healthy Stephon Diggs. You're going to have, I can't remember the tight end's name. It came from Dallas for some reason, but you're going to have a healthy tight end, good tight end. Not, I can't remember his name. It's going to bother me.
Isn't his name Dallas? Like Dallas Goddard or something?
No, that's Philly. I have Houston playing. I have Houston playing in the Super Bowl. I think they come out of the AFC. I don't know about the Bills missing. I think you got Houston, Kansas City, of course. Miami makes the playoffs. That's 3. I don't know that Jacksonville gets there. And that's why I think the Bills are going to make. I think the Jets making the Bills. I think you guys send 3 this year, barring major injury of quarterbacks again. But I got Houston winning the AFC.
Dalton Schultz.
That's it. Houston wins the AFC. All right. Any bold predictions for this week? Who is going to be your top passing quarterback this week?
Week 1 top passer.
Dakota Prescott.
Dak?
No.
I like it. Not my choice, but I like it a lot.
Or Tua.
I was gonna say I think Tua playing at home. Tyreek and Waddle in the building playing against Jacksonville. I think he does numbers.
Or run the ball.
I got Matt Stafford. That's my top passing quarterback.
McDaniel does like his speedy running back. He got him a new one in the draft. So, and that kid, Jalen Wright.
Mm-hmm.
You guys just keep stacking them speedy running backs. All right. Do the Jets or the Bills win the AFC East?
Neither.
You know my pick. You know my pick. I'm hoping it's the Jets. I mean,
So you guys think the
I'm
Patriots win
hoping
it?
so. Nah,
No.
if they win it, there's a problem.
EJ,
Yeah.
how far? Where did the Jets? How far did the Jets make it this year?
I'd
What round?
say
What
I'm
round, or did they win the
saying
Super Bowl?
I'm talking delusional as a fan. I'm hoping AFC Championship, but at least win a playoff game if I'm being rational.
Okay.
At least.
VP. How far did?
Same question. How far
Yeah,
did Jets go?
No, how far did Miami go?
Oh, okay. I thought Jackson how far Jets are gonna go. I was gonna say they probably are in the hunt week 17 for a wild card and lose. But
It's fair.
I got the Dolphins. The fan in me wants to say, all the way to Super Bowl. The realist in me, knowing that we haven't won a playoff game in 24 years, is the division, and we get a playoff win.
All right. I have the Cowboys going to the NFC Championship. I don't know how it ends. I don't know how it ends, but I have them going to the NFC Championship this year. All right. Without further ado, to stay under our benchmark of 2 hours, VP, I'll let you get us up out of here. I mean, if you want, you don't have to. Cool. All right.
What is going on here?
Sorry. My son just texted me. It popped up on my screen like the way the text started. I made it sound like it was an emergency, so I was trying to read.
Pizza.
About to ask him,
Dad, it's game day, and I got an emergency. We don't have any wings.
Facts.
Now I see why you used
If
to
I
go out every Sunday.
don't order in 30 minutes, we won't get Little Caesars for $5.
All right.
Real world. We're getting out of here. No Benjis.
No, we don't got time. Next week we go back to our normal scheduled.
All right. Cool.
Banter.
Hey everybody, we definitely appreciate you guys for rocking with us, for hanging out with us. We know we've been off for 2 weeks, so we definitely appreciate you guys still tapping in. For anybody who listens live, we appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday morning. For the folks who will listen once the episode posts, we appreciate you taking that time as well. Like we always say, man, make that phone call, send that text message. Tomorrow's promised to nobody. Definitely, as you can see from earlier talking about Fat Man Scoop, rest in peace to him. Thoughts with all his family and friends and anybody else who's dealing with anything. So definitely make that phone call, send that text message, reach out to your people. This upcoming week, we didn't get into politics, but on Tuesday will be the presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. It'll be on ABC. I'm not sure if any other networks are going to simulcast it, but it'll be on ABC Tuesday, I believe at 8 p.m. or maybe 8:30 p.m. or something like that. But, check your local listings. With that being said, man, you can find the podcast on all podcasting platforms by searching at Castworthy. You also can follow us on any of our social media by searching at Castworthy. On Instagram, it's at Castworthy_podcast. While you're there, you can leave us a like, subscribe, share, follow, tell a friend, help us grow the audience. We very much appreciate it. And glad football season's back. Good luck to you and all your teams. And we will see you guys next week with another fresh episode of the Castworthy Podcast. Until then, we're out. We love you. Peace.